Hello everyone, my name is Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is January 12th, 2025. And this could be a very special Sunday. We may be in the midst of what I would call an altcoin Sunday. And I'm going to call it an altcoin Sunday just because it's kind of anticlimactic given our larger analysis of the market, what it's very likely to give us on the higher time frames, right? I don't want to say alt season, and I don't want to mislead anyone because I do expect a big drawdown very soon in the entire cryptocurrency market. But for this Sunday, as Bitcoin matriculates to 99K, I expect some big moves in some select few altcoins. So this is what really excites me today. So let's get into it. All right. First, let's start with Bitcoin as per usual. Let's start on the hourly time frame. And, we've had this read for quite some time, as most of you can attest. And I didn't have time to update yesterday, but I did do a special update for supporters on Buy Me a Coffee. And it's a short update. I just, post a few things. And to be a supporter, all you have to do is donate just once, and you're automatically a supporter for life. Either donate or, get into the crypto portfolio consultation program through Buy Me a Coffee. In any case, I talked about Bitcoin going down in the immediate short term. I gave a target of a 93.8 thereabouts. And then from there, I thought we should be expecting that move to 99K. And in that time, altcoins would give a drop in Bitcoin dominance. And that Bitcoin dominance drop should yield our altcoin Sunday, okay? And this is what we're going to look at today. So first, yes, Bitcoin did indeed come to the level I thought it would, and then it moved back up, okay? So it came down to around 93.8, right? Just below 93.8. And why was 93.8 significant? Well, 93.8 was significant because I channeled the price action that we'd been in for the past 48 hours, and I saw there was a midline, and the midline, as you know, is support when you're above it, resistance when you're below it, okay? So I thought, okay, given that we've been in this channel for 48 hours and 99K is up here, in order to, start the matriculation to 99K, what we're going to have to do is retest the midline of the channel, and then start going up. And so that's exactly what happened. So far, so good on that. And I did say on Friday, in Friday's analysis, that I thought that the move to 99K would happen more or less, this weekend. So this is what we're seeing, and I think we see that continuation of the price action up to our target. That is not that impressive. Again, this analysis is pretty straightforward. If you look at it a million different ways, it looks like, some sort of inverse head and shoulders, bullish reversal pattern, the target of which is the height of the inverse head and shoulders, right here, superimposed from the side of breakout, which would yield more or less that 99K target. And there's so many ways to yield that 99K target. You can do it with Fibonacci, you can do it with pattern analysis, but 99K is a very likely target. Once we get there, I just want to remind everybody, be very, very careful, because on a high time frame, as you are well aware, or you should be well aware, let's go on the daily, because I think on the daily it's really clear. Let me show you another chart, because this chart is marked up and I want you to be able to see this quite easily. So if you go on the Bitcoin chart, you can see very clearly on the daily time frame that it doesn't look good for continuation to the upside. Here you have very likely what is a head and shoulders pattern, a bearish reversal pattern, right? That's one key piece of information. The other thing is the fact that you have a rounded top. That's another piece of information, okay? Head and shoulders are bad, but the fact that it's well rounded, that's not good. And the worst part of all of this, if you're bullish on Bitcoin at this level, is that you're at a 10-year resistance. Yes, I said that correctly, 10-year resistance. If you zoom out, you look at Bitcoin's entire price history, you'll see that the past, sorry, let me fix my screen. There we go. The past 10 years, Bitcoin has been in the bounds of this channel, okay? And so within this channel, you have price action for 10 years. And what happened in 2022, end of 2022, we lost the bottom of the channel. And so now the bottom support is now resistance. So we, for the past 2 years, have essentially been trying to climb back up this into this 10-year channel that Bitcoin's matriculated within for the better part of 10 years. That's all that's happening. So that's why this is not just a 100K psychological resistance because it's a nice round number, it's 6 figures. No. It's also, more importantly and most importantly, the fact that this represents 10 years worth of resistance. It's the bottom of a 10-year channel, and we've just hit our head on it for the third time. First time was around 30K. The second time was around 69K. This is the third time, 100K. We hit, and now we formed a rounded top or a bearish reversal pattern, a head and shoulders at that key resistance. So all of that information should give you quite a high probability read on what's likely to happen next. You get a rejection, okay? And that rejection is not going to hell. It's simply going to the next likely support. And the next likely support, when you look at it on a high time frame, is quite clearly the neckline of a multi-year bullish reversal pattern. So if you look at the chart, you can see there is a 1200-day bullish reversal pattern that started in March of 2021 and now is going to be retested as support, right? We broke out of it. We should retest it at support around anywhere from 65 to 70K, okay? And that also is confluent with the resistance, previous resistance, now new support of that descending broadening wedge that we formed for a few months in the summer, from February, March to September. Okay, so that's the big read. This is what we've been looking at for a while on the channel, and yes, this is why, although I'm excited about the immediate short-term price action, especially with altcoins, and I'm going to show you why I'm particularly excited about altcoins. You should keep that in mind, that these how do you say? You should keep in mind that things are only short-term bullish, okay? These altcoins that we're excited about today are going to drop really hard, but first they're going to pump really hard, okay? And why is that? Well, we have a really high level of confidence in this because the Bitcoin dominance chart is telling us this, okay? Look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. And again, for those of you who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is a measure of Bitcoin's dominance vis-a-vis the rest of the cryptocurrency market. When Bitcoin dominance goes up, Bitcoin gains against altcoins. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, this has been the case for the better part of a few years, right? Ever since September of 22, you're pretty much uninterrupted up and to the right in Bitcoin dominance. About 800 days of Bitcoin gaining against altcoins, i.e., if you're in Bitcoin, by and large, you're winning as opposed to holding altcoins, right? So that is also Bitcoin going down sometimes, and then altcoins going down much more. So it's been a losing battle if you've been invested in altcoins. By and large, there are always exceptions, but by and large, for the better part of 2 years, 800 days, okay? You got, high time frame resistance. If you look at it, you can see on the weekly time frame what that resistance is like. It's really high time frame resistance. You're talking about 14 plus years resistance here that you hit your head against. And so obviously once you get there, you have to do the dance of distribution. You can start, slowly changing the trend, right? Trends don't change on a whim, right? This is rare that you change on a whim. This is actually a corrective trend where you change on a whim. Typically, trends change with a series of distributive moves, right? They call that Wyckoff distribution channels. And so this is what we saw. Sorry, I went too low. This is what we saw up here, okay? We got up here, we started chopping, boom, boom, boom. All this stuff is part of changing the trend of the better part of 800 days from up to down. So this is why it's so exciting. This is why altcoins are doing something, by and large, not all altcoins, but most altcoins are doing something they haven't done in 800 plus days. Not just 4 years. I know we use that cycles, 4 years up, 4 years down. No, it doesn't happen like that. If you look, a lot of altcoins have been down bad for a lot longer than just 4 years. Okay. So on the smaller time frames, and I'm on the 4-hourly time frame, what's to be appreciated in the Bitcoin dominance chart is the fact that you printed this bearish reversal pattern, okay? This is another type of bearish reversal pattern. It's called an M-top. A lot of times in the textbook, you have two equal height mounds, and that's your M-top. But, in the real world, they're divergent. Some are some are tall, some are short, but at the end of the day, it's still a bearish reversal pattern. Okay, that was broken down from, now retested, and again you put in some sort of distribution pattern, and that's what we're looking at on the really small time frame. So I hope everybody understands. I really do try not to make these videos too long, but I also want to substantiate the analysis. If I'm going to make a conclusion, I want you all to understand why I'm making it. Okay, so on the smaller time frame, and please notice, the proper way to analyze anything, it doesn't matter if you're an Elliotician, if you're a Wyckoff trader, if you're a Gann trader, if you're a pattern trader, is from high to low. You want to start on the high time frames with the larger trends, the larger story of what price action is saying, and then you want to go be more particular, go down to the smaller time frames, understand what's happening in the immediate short term. So the immediate short term analysis is such that you put in another distribution pattern, and this is another M-top or another bearish reversal pattern. You broke down from it, and now you retested again the midline, because we know one of the principles in channel trading is that to leave the boundaries of a particular channel, one must retest the midline of that channel before breaking down or breaking up, right? So in this case, you break down to the bottom support, retest the midline, and that's what happened yesterday. And so when I was reading that, I was like, ooh, if we find resistance at this midline and we start moving down, I'm very excited for what's to come in altcoins. Basically, don't misunderstand. It's not like this chart dictates the price action of the altcoins. No, the altcoins collectively feed the data on this chart. This is an indicator. So basically, it's happening that at the present moment, you're starting to see altcoins wake up, as it were, right? These altcoins are starting to move in a positive direction, and they're starting to move more than Bitcoin's moving. So Bitcoin may be moving up to its target of 99K. These altcoins are moving up more than Bitcoin. That's when you see Bitcoin dominance coming down, and that's what we call alt season. Now, I'm very careful not to call it alt season because I understand what comes next. More likely than not, next week at some point is a big declension, and some altcoins, given that they've already run, don't have that much to give this weekend. But generally speaking, what we're looking at, we're focusing on are altcoins that are on support. And I'm going to show you a few examples of that. So where should we expect Bitcoin dominance? A lot of people question, okay, that's fair and well if you expect movement in the altcoins. Now, when do we know? How high do they go? Where do we take profit? So on and so forth. Well, if you have this indicator, this should tell you everything you need to know. This should tell you when you should get out of your altcoin longs, when you should take profit. It's quite simple, actually. Looking at this breakdown, you have two ways of knowing that this is a high probability target for the breakdown of Bitcoin dominance indicator. One, if you take the height of this bearish reversal pattern, you superimpose it from the side of breakout, which is about here, you get that target. Secondly, you understand that previously this level was support, right? You came down, you find support, then you went up. So you're going to come back down and find another level of support at this level. So that's where I've got an alarm there. I'm going to be monitoring this chart, but once Bitcoin dominance gets to this level thereabouts, I'm taking profit in any longs in my altcoins because I understand what comes next after this. If this is indeed some sort of impulse, I'm expecting some sort of retracement like so. And in that retracement, you're going to get altcoins dumping quite significantly. Now, why is it that I'm not saying altcoin season? Why is it that I'm careful in saying, well, some altcoins? What's the confusion? Because I think some people want the simplistic analysis to say, is it alt season or is it not alt season? Well, it depends how you define alt season. Yes, you can say it's the start of alt season, but it's not really alt season-ish if not everything's just flying. And there are certain things that are not going to fly because they've already flown. And this is the nuance, okay? When you're looking at a Cardano, you're at resistance. There's nowhere to go. You're at resistance. I mean, a high time frame resistance, right? You'd have to be deluded to think that 651 days of resistance is just going to pop out, right? You can wick above it, sure, but you're not doing much of anything at this point. If anything, you should look for ways to get out of the position and wait for the logical retest of the midline of this channel, right? Same with Ethereum, same with XRP, same with a lot of altcoins that have flown. You're at resistance. So whatever happens today, despite the Bitcoin dominance coming down, you're not doing much of anything in a lot of these altcoins that have already run. I hope everybody understands it. I don't think it's that nuanced. But I guess some people just don't watch the videos. They just look at the title and then write comments. So watch the videos. I explain it quite clearly. If it's already run, I wouldn't expect any major gains in that altcoin. Yes, it may go up marginally and retest resistance. It may wick above resistance, but that's not really what's important or interesting today. That's not the play. The play today is in those altcoins that I've been talking about a lot on this channel, which have yet to run, which are on support. All right? There are a lot of them. And in my watch list that is quite curated and not that long, I can see half a dozen. DYDX is one example. It's on major support. This is major support of a long, drawn out 800 day, there you go, 800 days of side to side and downwards bear market. Do you see that? And then only after those 800 days starts to go up. Now it's on support of this small time frame consolidation, broke out, retested it as support, broke out resistance, retested it as support. Do expect that to come up to the next logical resistance. That's a major move. That can happen in 24, 48 hours. That's a couple 100%. That's a 2x. That's nice. You like that? I like it. So another example, hooked protocol. This is another example where it's at the bottom of the bottom. If this is the bear market, right? You look at all of this, it's been going down for, again, 700, 800 days. If you look at this right here, from the top here all the way here, again, you're going to see 800 days approximately of down and sideways price action. This is it's confluent, it's consistent with what we saw in the Bitcoin dominance chart. Alts have been losing to Bitcoin for about 800 days. And now they start gaining against Bitcoin. This is why this is so exciting. I'm not going to call it an alt season, but it's going to be here. It's the altcoins that have yet to run. So the rest of the altcoins in the market that have yet to run, that are going to enjoy a bull market, are going to run starting now. That's why this is so exciting. That's why it's so momentous. Now, if the altcoin that you're interested in doesn't run even today, then I don't know that it's going to run, period. If it hasn't run prior to today, like the Cardanos, like the H-bars, like the Stellar Lumens, XLM, and it doesn't run today, it might not run at all. And you need to know that, and you need to accept that, and you need to choose better steeds, better horses for the bull market. And that's part of what I do in the crypto portfolio consultation. I make sure you're in the right stuff to enjoy gains in the alt season, in the bull market. In any case, this is 800 days down into the side. This is an example. Litentry. This is another example. Look at this. From here all the way here. I mean, this is even worse. This is almost 1,000 days to the side. And if you add the time it was down, right, you're looking at 1,400 days down into the side. Okay, it's been losing down into the side for 1,400 days, and only today showing signs of life, more likely than not, hitting some sort of upwards resistance and starting to gain some momentum to the upside. This is amazing. This is not something you see every day. We literally haven't seen this in 1,400+ days. This is why it's a big deal. People were asking, what are you making a big deal about? It's a big effing deal, because a lot of these altcoins are down bad. VRA is another example. VRA is another example where, if you look, side and down into the side, you're dealing with over 1,000 days of down into the side price action. And again, you're at the bottom. You did not pump. Whatever gain you made over here in October, late October, you retraced the amount you were going to retrace. Now you retested previous resistances, new support, and you're going back up. So all of this to say is really, it's really an interesting time in the market for the altcoins that have yet to run. And yes, it was really cool to see XRP run and do what, 300%? 400%. That's great. Watch what some of these other altcoins do now that they can run. Okay? XRP, everybody's excited about, despite it clearly being at some sort of high time frame resistance, right? And breaking multi-year resistance. You should expect XRP and anything else that's run to retest before getting excited about it again, right? This is 2,500 days of resistance that XRP broke to the upside. Anybody that has any sense in technical analysis and that is kind of looking at this honestly is going to say, well, before I get, too excited about this, before I reinvest, I'm actually going to take profit and wait for the retest of 2,500 days of resistance broken, retested as support before getting back in. This is when you get back into XRP, not up here. You don't buy the top guys. So anyway, that's why I'm excited about today. This is why I call it an Altcoin Sunday. We'll see what happens, but so far so good. When I'm looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's starting to break down, and it not only hit resistance where we thought it would, which is the min line of this channel that it's been in for a few days. Let's see. It had been in this channel for about 4 days. It broke to the downside of the channel, retested the midline, and now it's breaking down. And like I said, if this goes down to where we think it should, this is our altcoin Sunday, probably leading into Monday. Boom. You know, and this right here that we're in, if this is indeed a proper analysis of what's happening, this is wave 3. This is the most impulsive. This is the longest of the Elliott waves. So we should see the biggest moves now. Okay, we should see the biggest moves now as this goes down, and then we find a small retracement, and then, you know, finish the job early next week. So I'm excited as Bitcoin goes to 99K, distributes at 99K for a big dump. We should, in the interim, get a good move in the altcoin space. So that's what this video is about. That's what excites me, guys. Hope this was helpful. If this was useful, like, share, and subscribe if you got value. If you'd like to trade this volatility, don't forget to take advantage of the free money given by my partner, KCEX, the official exchange of this YouTube channel. You can find that at the pinned comment below. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you got value. And if you want to prepare for the bull market, I still have spots open for my crypto portfolio consultation service, also found at the pinned comment below. Take care. Hope you're well. Have a great Sunday, and I'll talk to you soon.